taking them away from the side of LGD. But LGD has such a deep hero pool that it's just impossible to cover in 4 bans. You have to force LGD to pigeonhole themselves in a draft and then counter it with a ban or a pick further on. But that's not very easy to do, just because of their experience they have in this game.
Oh, for sure. So AG gonna pick up the Arlie first, and like you mentioned, right? I think at this point it's less of, hey, what can we ban, right? It's what do we want to face? What kind of problems do we want to have? Because you can't ban them all. And it looks like the problem they will be facing is going to be similar to game 1. And that's going to be in the form of Lady Sun, but this time with the help of Zhang Fei, the beast himself. So a lot of life points to get past before you can even touch this Lady Sun.
Yeah, I mean, the beast, the Zhang Fei, is always such a great bouncer. He's always such a great protector of your back lines and can really soak up a lot of damage with his ultimate form. So, I mean, that was a good reason why AG banned out the Zhang Fei earlier, and also one of the reasons why Zhang Fei is one of the more meta supports as well. You can play it aggressive with a aggressive jungler like the Jing. We're gonna see double smite on both Zhang Fei and Jing to invade the enemy jungle early, and we see it played safe as well, paired up with heroes like the Lady Sun, paired up with marksmen like the Huang Zhong to protect him, to make sure that the damage is going to be consistent from that hero, making sure that the marksman doesn't have to run away too far because they've got constant shields and they've got someone beefy in front of them.
Right, I really like the point that you brought up, and I think this is something we need to mention to all the new players as well. There is something called double smite, right? It's not something that I get reported for, but nonetheless, on a more serious note, I like the fact that you mentioned a Huang Zhong, right? We have not seen a Huang Zhong yet in the entire competition just yet, and I think Huang Zhong does offer some benefits at this point, but is that going to be picked? Because as it stands now, the Mort has been taken out, and depending on the final ban, LGD going to take out the Sun Bin. Actually, I think that makes sense, right? If you don't have the time lapse, I think the Huang Zhong makes sense as well. And more importantly, no time flux.
Yep, absolutely. The silence is very annoying for heroes that rely on being able to constantly juke away from their opponents. Heroes like the Lady Sun and Jing really want to be uninterrupted when they are trying to dance and just slide across the battlefield. So Sun Bin, we've seen it banned in the previous game as well, not wanting the silence to come out on towards the Shangguan as well as the Lady Sun. This game they're going to put focus on it as well and pick up a very strong clash laner for themselves. Byron will be picked up, and there's not many heroes left in the clash lane that can really go mano a mano against the Byron. Maybe the likes of the Mayin. Oh, it's banned out there on the side of AG, so no Mayin for them. Okay.
Yep. I'm gonna say this because I think it makes a lot of sense. I would like to see the Donghuang in the Clash lane as well. Donghuang is one of the few heroes that can go toe-to-toe with Byron. It messes up his shield as well. And with the likes of the Zhang Fei and the Lady Sun, the moment you get past the frontliners of Byron and Zhang Fei, you actually have access to Jing and Lady Sun. So a flash Donghuang would make sense, but of course I'm not a professional, so AG gonna take up the Dharma instead, along with the Cai Yan.
Yeah, the Dharma is okay against the Byron in the lane. Not the best, but he can stand his ground. It's going to be more of a skill-based fight compared to what other laners could really do against the Byron. So not the worst laning matchup. Definitely, we can see the lane go either way in the top. But I like the idea around the Donghuang being able to lock down the Jing or the Lady Sun for 3 seconds. Usually enough time already to burst them down, because both of these heroes heavily rely on their movement and mobility to survive, not on their HP pools.
Oh, you're making me gush, man. You make me feel like I'm so good. But in any case, at this point, it's going to be the Gunner and more. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite mid laners as well. With the couple blades, with the freshly forged, it's we can expect some explosive deaths in the second game between LGD against AG.
The tie-in to finish to close things out for the side of AG. Providing them a lot of heals, but I'm starting to worry. Is there enough damage on the side of All Gamers Global? They have the Lady Zen to provide the damage. Arlie's, of course, a very strong early game marksman and also strong late game as well. But if they fall behind, they might find themselves lacking in the damage department, because Dun is not going to provide you too much in terms of the damage department. Dharma does okay against a single target, but their main bulk of their AoE team fight is going to be relying on Lady Zen, and I wonder if that's enough for game number 2.
Yeah, actually, that's a pretty scary notion to think about. Yes, you get the heals, right? So you have the him coming in from the tie-in, but at this point, is it enough? Because Zihong just went for the straight counter pick, which is going to be the gun and more. So, so what if you can heal bit by bit? I'm gonna burst you down instantaneously.
Scary hero is that Ganemo. Be able to get you from 100 to 0 with just 3 skills, something that they have to watch out for. Of course, this is the global version of the Ganemo. He doesn't have the flexibility of adjusting his skill build with the item purchase, with the crystal purchase that we do see in the Chinese server. So playstyle is a little bit more one-dimensional, but he still packs a punch.
Well, I am pretty used to the current version as well. It's actually one of my favorite heroes, and I'm gonna share with you in a little bit what it takes to play the gun and more. And this is the basic combo. It's gonna be first skill, second skill, third skill, ulti, go back in your third skill into the second skill. That's the basic burst, right? The first skill puts you in a perfect position to land your second and third skills as they're running away. And likewise, the ultimate will refresh your second and third skill respectively. So honestly, you don't even need to do that. If you're going up against a farm lane hero, it's just
3 skills and he's dead.
It's just skill 3, Freshly Forge, skill 3, he's dead.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes in my ranked games when the Gun and More has a good start, when he has a hot start and just able to just burst down your opponent. And Arlie is one of those heroes that if he's not if his finger is not like, he's not a trigger happy player, and he likes to slow things down a little bit, he might just get surprise attack from a bush, from the shadows, and will just fall about. Lady Zen doing a lot of damage towards Zihong in the mid, but the TP will come in there from Jing, trying to dissuade any more aggression from the Lady Zen and keep Zihong alive for the moment. But still a very decent early game from AG. They're not too far behind. They've been able to put pressure across the map, and Zihong down to just 1/3 of his health. The rotations coming from Dun almost picking him off.
Yeah, I'm actually curious how this matchup is actually going positively for Liv at this point. He's doing well against the Ganemo, something that I definitely did not personally expect at this point. But nonetheless, AG, they need a miracle, and any miracle that's going to happen now will be taken.
Yeah, they're looking for any opportunity they can find to start off the game strong. They've been able to at least dissuade LGD from playing aggressive. They picked up this double smite to try and invade the jungle, but so far AG has been able to respond very well. They've been able to put pressure across the map. They've been able to force LGD to play a bit more defensively, and that goes to show how much that first game in this series has been able to give information to the side of AG, and their early game is just so much better in game number 2.
Yep, not sure if they know about the rotation coming down. Taiyan and Tingling might be in for a hard surprise here. Will not be shouted out and sliced apart by the couple blades.
Yep, and they're trying to really force the issue here in the bottom lane. 4 heroes down there, but they realize that it's a tough place to be in. You've got the Arlie, who has all the mobility in the world, and you've got the Taiyan to be able to keep her up alive and be able to maintain the bottom side, the bottom creeps. So it's not going to be not going to get too much out of it. But looks like they will just live with getting the first Tyrant, and Musang King will be the one to pick up the last hit. Zhang Fei pops the ultimate, trying to block off the Taiyan, but nice movement from him, and he's able to just walk it off. So far so good for AG. They're keeping up with the aggression from LGD, and things do not look as one-sided as it was in the game number 1.
Yeah, but they're still trailing by a bit, right? Losing a Tyrant actually is a pretty big deal in the first 4 minutes, because with the Chain Lightning, it means the wave clears will be faster, and this will allow faster rotations for the side of LGD, and that might be something that LGD will capitalize off at this point. Miles Solis, we haven't talked about him much this entire game. How do you think he's doing so far?
He's definitely doing better than he did in game number 1. His done was basically non-existent there, but here he's been able to keep up in farm with the Jing And he's been doing things across the map, really forcing the issue, but looks like Zeiss might be in some trouble. The heals coming from Zion, keeping him alive. Lady Zen with the ultimate, sets it up for a kill on towards Xiang. So first blood going towards the way of All Gamers Global, and they're trying to get that tower, but looks like no, they are not going to overcommit for that. AG striking first in terms of the kills, but they do lose the bottom tier 1 tower before getting any sort of objective of their own.
Yep, so minor wins still nonetheless. LGD playing towards their typical style of getting the trades. Nonetheless, they will take a T1 at the bot for giving away that first blood. And as it stands now, I think the growth of the items has been pretty sufficient for the side of AG, but it might not be enough.
Oh, Jing pops the mirror domain, gets a kill on towards Zeiss, and Devil will fall as well. 2 heroes down from the side of AG, and LGD, they strike back. They get 2 quick kills in succession, and they might try and force the issue. They might try to strength test themselves in the mid-tier 1 tower. 3 heroes already there. We do see Musang King moving towards the jungle, waiting for the blue buff to respawn, and he's gonna get it before trying to take the next fight.
Yep, and interestingly, Musang King, actually, I think he should be done with the Axe of Torment at this point. He has been pretty much farming quite a bit this entire game. And as it stands now, it's close to a 2,000 gold lead. And all of a sudden, right, 2 kills and 2 tier 1s gone from the top and the bot.
Yeah, I mean, this is LGD in a nutshell, right? They always take a favorable trade somewhere. Even if they lost the first blood, but they got a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, and they managed to reduce the impact that whatever moves that AG is able to make and get something better for themselves. And the moment you give them an advantageous fight, that's where they really start to put up the pressure to start snowballing. And the net worth lead went from 0 to 3,000 in a span of 2 minutes, and LGD is not giving up. They're not slowing down as it seems.
And this game is not going to get any easier, because this is the point where Ganamore is going to be extremely potent with the assassination style. We're looking at the ultimates as well.
Well, huge ultimate there for Zhang Fei, setting up a kill on towards Zeiss. He could not get out of there. Mirror domain from the Jing, really putting up the pressure. The Dun trying to get away from that. Oh, last hit on towards the side of Xiang, but he's able to pop his ultimate in time. Shield up, TP back to base, and he's A-OK. 1 kill again on towards the Arlie for the side of AG. That's your marksman. That's the hero you want to not die this early on, because you need the damage output that Arlie is able to bring out in this game. But so far, he's just been picked off left, right, and center.
Yep, and you can see already 1/3 of the way for the side of Musang King for the Master Sword. Meantime, we will take a look at Zeiss, right? Zeiss already has a Doomsday building towards the Crimson Reaper as well, but it's not enough damage, because as it stands now, the only other damage source is going to come from the Mask of Agony being built by Liv at this point. And the big question is it enough?
Oh, good pick off there from Snow. Able to pick off Zhong, making sure that he's locked in the corner, not able to back away from his with his mobility, and pick him off. So good pick off here from AG. Can they turn this into a tower? Can they turn this into a tyrant? Looks like LGD is going to dissuade them from that, trying to set up an ambush here in the bottom lane and at least delay the attempt. So very well done there by LGD to stop AG from getting anything else.
Yep, at this point, they need to put a cap on the growth on the side of LGD, because if it stands, as it stands now, right, there's too many people to protect on the side of AG. Yes, you need to protect Zeiss, you need to protect Liv as well, but what happens when Tingling needs to be protected as well? That's the big problem.
Yep, I mean, you never want your Tyan to fall early. She gets more value the longer she stays on the battlefield. Mirror domain pop to try and get the blue buff. It will go towards the way of LGD Musang King. But meanwhile, bottom lane, Xiang doing such a good job pushing out the bottom lane. They do lose Musang King, but it looks like they're trying to go for a little bit more. No, Xiang will take the bottom tier 3 though. And I think if you're LGD, you're more than happy with this trade, because like you said, since the first game, anytime LGD lose something, they will get something in return. And that bottom tier 3 was definitely worth the death of Musang King in the mid lane.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a page out of their book at this point, because my rank games don't go like that. Every trade is a horrible one. And as it stands now, I mean, LGD, they are perfectly comfortable to play very safe, very reserved, because the next big objective is going to be coming out in the next 5 seconds or so. Now it's going to be a conscious choice between the Tyrant and the Overlord as well. And this is going to be the Shadow version, so it's going to be hard.
Oh, Lady Zen pops the ultimate on towards Xiang. Xiang down to half health. He's okay though. The shoot from Zeb will protect him and make sure that he's able to stand and fight another day. But right now, with the lane pressure on the bottom lane, it means that LGD can fight on two fronts. They can pressure on towards this Tyrant while also letting the creeps push down towards the bottom lane, which means that AG will never have a full 5-man lineup to try and defend this area. They need to push out the bottom lane as quickly as possible and also rotate the members back. Zihong in towards the front lines, trying to dissuade them from getting close. Tyrant down to half health already. Can they get a steal? Can they get a crucial kill theft on towards this Tyrant? It's down to half health. Dharma, backline, picks up the Zihong. Huge start, good start here for the side of AG, but Snow down to half health. He's in danger. He will fall. JR will pick up the kill, but Arlie, they smell blood. They're looking for more. They pick up Xiang as well. 2-for-1 trade-off. Finally, AG gets something out of a terrible start, and they will get the Tyrant. This is a good position for AG. This might be the start of something here, kid.
Yeah, finally they make a positive trade for themselves. They will be trading out the Overlord for the Tyrant at this point, as Lift is going to take care of the bottom wave as well. So there's some signs of recovery, right? But at this point, you take the small wins, it's not enough just yet. They're still trailing by about 3,000 gold at this point. 5-4, it's not necessarily a very high kill game, but 0, I think we might be on the cusp of something here.
Yeah, I definitely sense a breath of fresh air for the side of AG. They managed to take the mid-tier 1 tower as well, which means that the jungle is open to be invaded. They do get the blue buff on towards the side of Zeiss. And sure, the bottom lane is looking not so hot here for the side of AG. But hey, this is a position that they would more than happy to play in after that terrible start. And we might see a much closer team fight happening very soon in this mid.
Oh, for sure. If you take a look at the itemization by the RD here, Zeiss already has the Eternity Blade. Somehow suddenly pops up with the Eternity Blade. Crimson Reaper and the Cloud Piercer as well will be going for the Daybreaker for the additional pierce. And at this point, if he plays his cards right with the Maple Dance, he could mute JR and it could be a huge turnaround in the team fight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the burst damage coming from Arlie is slightly more sustainable compared to the Lady Sun. Lady Sun kind of needs some downtime between her bursts, but Arlie with the auto attacks is just too much damage to really deal with if you're not able to constantly on the same mirror target. But here, top lane being pushed out by the Shadow Vanguard, and they will lose the top tier 2 tower and the mid tier 1 tower as well. LGD not letting go of the pressure, not slowing down even after they took a bad fight. They still smell blood in the air and trying to get a pick off before they go for the next objective.
Yeah, but I think we have to keep our eyes on Snow, right? I think Snow has been making such fabulous plays. More importantly, he's actually catching out Zihong, right? And I think taking out Zihong takes a lot of the burst potential, a lot of the fear factor that comes in when you're going up against LGD.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you remove the highest burst hero on your opponent's side before the fight even starts. I mean, Snow would be more than happy to trade his life for that every single team fight, because he knows that as soon as he's done his job, he's more than okay to let his team finish off the rest. Because really, like Dharma, after Flash Ultimate, you're more than happy to just let him soak some damage and just die off. And as long as you're getting a favorable trade, that's always going to be beneficial for you.
Yep, and the one thing I really like about the gameplay that AG is offering at this point is they render quite useless at this point, because they just skip him altogether, right? Yeah. Let's not fight the beast. Let's just skip that boss and move ahead to the next level.
Yeah, just in a tough spot. Do I do I stick to JR all the way, or do I want to jump backwards and protect maybe Zihong or maybe JR, whoever's in the backlines to make sure that they survive? And the moment he jumps back, suddenly his front line isn't looking that hot, because once you don't have that shield on towards the front, I mean, Byron, as tanky as he is starting to fall off in terms of the survivability, as that hero does after the laning stage. So Ze is going to be forced to be making some tough decisions. Xiang cannot play too aggressive as well. LGD might need to make some sort of bait play to bait to bait players to jump towards the back and then defend their front, but it's not going to be as easy. It's not going to be as simple as how it happened in game number 1.
Yeah, they can't exactly group up because that is a perfect scenario for the Destructive Deluge as well. Right now, we're going to have eyes on LGD attempting this Shadow Tyrant. It's falling low, half its health, 20,000 health left.
Yep, and AG did not let it reset. They're trying to get this. Oh, no! Get AQ onto a Xiang, but it will be the Tyrant going towards the way of the Musang King. But right now, they're trying to sound a retreat there. 4 versus 5 fight, even with the buff at this point of the game, is not something you want to fight up against, even if you have the numbers advantage. So here, Zeiss will start off the Vanguard. That's going to give them additional lane pressure to try and even out the side lanes. And if they are able to get this, Mirror Blaze gets the steal! Musang King gets the crucial kill theft, and that completely takes the win away from the sails of AG, and potentially might be sounding the end of this game. I mean, it's too early to call. AG has managed to force LGD to play the longest game of their tournament so far, which is a achievement of its own. But you know, that clutch play from Musang King might be sounding the end of game number 2.
Yeah, it's a big feat to take the number 1 team, touted as the number 1 team in the whole tournament for 16 minutes at this point, but they can't do much anymore. So
Myosotis will fall. Too much damage from JR there. But they do get a trade on towards Musang King, so 1-for-1 trade, not the worst deal in the world. Jungle for jungle. If you're behind, you take any trade for if you can. Zhong playing on a nice edge here, already down to half health. Trying to poke and prod a little bit as well, but looks like that will be the end of the aggression from LGD. They are going to go back to the jungle, wait for the next round of jungle buffs for Musang King to get. But let's take a look at this pickoff once again. Snow going back, going for the kill onto Xiang. Xiang can't really sustain the damage from both the Dharma as well as the Arlie, and he did fall before the fight even happened.
Yep, so we see a pretty clear win condition, right? As long as you get Zeiss safely, he should be able to deal a lot of damage. They will be able to win the team fights. And like you mentioned earlier in the game, the team fight potential from AG is scary as well. It's really just about positioning. And if they manage to get out Zihong or maybe even JR in the early stage of the fight, it could be the win condition that they've been searching for the entire game.
Yeah, absolutely. AG has so far been managed to play the mid game very well. Not really letting LGD do whatever they want. Has been able to get a couple of crucial stops. Have been able to just slow down the exponential net worth increase that we do see LGD get time and time again. But here, tier 3 tower top lane, one hit by JR and it will fall. Can AG get something out of this? The Zhangfei able to survive just in time, and they will get something for nothing here. LGD still ahead by 3,000, but net worth at this point in time, this 3,000 net worth is basically 0 because Kin entering to the late game stages.
Yep, and 2 more minutes before the Tempest comes in. They get the lockdown on Musang King as well, but he will be making it out. But here comes the cavalry on the side of LGD. They're looking for the next spike to end the game.
Yeah, Snow, not too much commitment from him though. He only did use the flash, so he's still okay to take the next fight if it comes anytime soon here. Myosotis a little bit too deep, I think. The damage might be too much, but oh, done very tanky with the Taiyan, able to heal him up to full after that as well. He's done his job. He's done his early game aggression, stopping the tempo from LGD, and now he's just the tank in the front lines to set up his team for vision and information.
Yeah, but I like the confidence by LGD, right? In moments like this, you would want to be concerned about the Primal Bond, but at this point, LGD really don't care too much.
Yeah, it's starting to get to the point where the Overlord is more important than the Tyrant, except of course the Tempest Dragon, the probably the most important one. Zhong, the dangerous position to be in, but Myosotis, being the jungler, has no flash and cannot close out the distance here. But Zeiss is already reaching critical mass. Daybreaker already completed. He's going to be going for the Sage's Sanctuary very soon, I assume. But this Vanguard going down very quickly. Can they rotate there in time? No, they cannot. Musang King with the damage, way too much for them to deal with. And this will be an assisted push with the Overlord Vanguards towards the mid lane.
Yep, LGD have taken all of the different requirements to make the game as difficult as it can be for the side of All Gamers Global. Now we're 20 seconds away before the final nail in the coffin here. Once they take this Tempest Dragon, it is just an inevitable result where LGD should be able to close the game down here.
Yeah, AG is forced to defend 2 lanes as well as the mid, and also try to contest the Tempest Dragon. That is a rough situation to be in, and sure, they've managed to get to this late game stage very well with their counter plays and fights, but this might be, like you said, the nail in the coffin here for the Hong Kong side. Down 2-0, not many teams have been able to come back from this position in the best of 5. In fact, none of the teams in this knockout stage has been able to come back after a 2-0 deficit. But AG looking like it's a potential situation for them as long as they take the next 2 upcoming fights smoothly.
Yep, and it's a very painful play, right, from the side of LGD, because they actually held on for as long as they can for the Shadow Vanguard as well. And at this point, I don't think they have eyes on Musang King just yet. They don't exactly know where he is.
Yeah, on the flip side as well, though, LG doesn't know where the Dharma is, and the Dharma has been such a crucial reason that AG has been able to take favorable fights in this late game stage. Now, they have no vision of the Dharma, they only see the Dun giving a lot of information, but Musang King will burst down the Tempest Dragon way too fast. The base going down too fast, it's just gonna be a mistake! One more hit from the Overlord, the Vanguard, and it will fall. The macro play towards the end. LGD, they breathe a sigh of relief because they realized that they didn't have to do anything to finish off the game.